Wednesday, 14th of December, a day after we witnessed another Lionel Messi masterclass against Croatia. I wasn't really going to do a podcast about this match on its own. I was going to wait till today's semi-final between Morocco and France and then do a podcast tomorrow just going over both of the matches. But um, it was such a performance from Messi and everything that's come after that, especially on social media and stuff, that there's quite a lot to talk about and say. So I thought, why not? So we'll start off with the match first, Croatia versus Argentina, and then we'll go into the second part. Will really be about Messi, one of my favorite subjects, if not my favorite subject. Um, the match, Croatia, especially for like the first 25 minutes or so, I think it went the way that most people thought, really. The midfield of Croatia were dominating, and quite a few times it was quite easy for them to bypass the Argentinian midfielders are. But the problem that Croatia have is when they play through the lines, so to speak, like, in that kind of false nine position or just between the defense and the midfield, they don't have danger there. So the danger is in the midfield, but when they get past there, the danger drops by a lot. So you can, like Argentina, get away with it, um, getting dominated in the midfield. So that was a problem that Croatia have had for quite a while, I think. And I was just reading or hearing about something like Croatia haven't won a knockout match in 90 minutes since 1998. So that is um that is a problem for them in terms of they got those technical players, but it's a bit like Barcelona in the sense that you can produce midfielders, positioning, technique, but when it comes to the players up top, the magic, like say the Neymars and the Messis and the players like that, you can't really develop them. They have to have that talent. So, but Croatia are a tough team anyway, and then it was the 33rd minute where the Argentina get the penalty. So it was a ball from Otamendi, I think. He was playing a ball and I think he was trying to pass it to Fernandez, but it was a bad pass and it went in the direction of Modric, but he couldn't control it, so it's like gone through his legs, I think, or bounced off his leg, and it's gone to Fernandez, who does the ball over the top to Alvarez, and then obviously Alvarez is through on goal. Lovren, I think it was, whose defending was poor, the positioning, his body shape, and then Alvarez is in on goal, and he knocks it past the goalkeeper, and I think he was a bit poor from Alvarez, to be honest. I think he should have got more on it and actually scored himself, but he's knocked it past the goalkeeper, and then there's a collision between him and the goalkeeper, and then the ref's given a penalty for it, and there's a debate even at half time in the studio whether it was a penalty or not, but I don't think it could give anything else really. I'm trying to be not not from a biased point of view or something, but he's knocked it past the goalkeeper and there's contact. Sometimes even when there's a foul on a player, in general play, like the player might not even touch the player, but if the player has to ride the tackle, he's affected his move almost, so to speak. So I think it's one of them. It's not like the offside one where it's offside or not really, but this with the rules probably is like left to a bit of interpretation as well. So the penalties given, and then me as always praying that Messi doesn't miss the penalty. And to be fair, he smashed it in the goalkeeper's left hand corner. top left hand corner, and reading some stuff on social media, Messi was saying that he's spoken to the Argentinian goalkeepers Martinez and Rulli about where the Croatia goalkeeper likes to go. I think it was that he's quite good at saving the shots to his left or down low. So Messi's an absolute blinding penalty, and no goalkeeper's going to save that. So that's 1-0. And with that goal, Messi overtakes Batistuta for most Argentinian goals in World Cup. So Messi now has 11. And with that goal, Argentina do what they kind of been doing. As I said in the podcast yesterday, when they get a goal, they're like a different team. I don't know whether they get extra boost from the fans who are magnificent anyway, or whether they relax a bit. But they're playing like periods of matches, so they're a very emotional kind of team, one way or the other. And then 5 minutes later or so, we have the second goal, which was actually from a Croatia corner. So they've taken the corner and quite short, or they were going to pass a short pass and then they were going to put in the box, but it's actually the goal scorer Alvarez who rushes out and gets a block on it. And I'm not sure if it was De Paul or somebody else who heads it, which was a good header as well, to Messi. And Messi is like in the middle of his own half, and I think he's trying to flick it around the player to himself. I'm not sure if he was trying to pass it to Alvarez, but he's flicked it past, and I think there's a little bit of contact, and Messi's gone down, but Alvarez has picked the ball up probably about 5 to 10 yards in his own half, and then he's gone on a crazy run. He's gone on a long, mazy run, and we have to give credit to Molina as well, who makes an incredible run from his own half, to take some defenders away, or make the defenders think of his run. And he's gone one way, and somehow Alvarez has bundled his way through. And it's a nice finish as well from close range, so it's 2-0. And like I said, Argentina happens quite quick in the sense that the match has gone one way or the other. And even thinking about when they let in the goal against Holland, it happened similar to that as well. There was like a quick period of the match where big thing happened. So yeah, Alvarez, and I always thought about Alvarez ever since he was linked to Man City, and I saw a compilation clip of his on social media, and it was the first time that I was watching him, and I thought to myself, this guy reminds me of Luis Suarez. He reminds me of what Luis Suarez at Liverpool and his Barcelona days, in terms of his energy. His pressing was fantastic, as we saw in this World Cup from Alvarez. His ability to shoot off both feet as well. His eye for a goal, for different types of goals. And as we saw yesterday, in terms of like dribbling and scenarios where he looks second favourite, but he almost comes out with the ball. So maybe anticipation as well, and just his attitude as well. He's a winning runner, and he's probably not. I don't know, in terms of aggressiveness. In Suarez comes across as more. I don't want to say nasty or dirty, but more like somebody you wouldn't like if he was playing against you, whereas Alvarez comes across as a really nice kid, or maybe too nice, but when he plays with that intensity as well. So yeah, intensity is a good word. So yeah, once they went 2-0 up, even though they did let in those 2 goals against Holland, I think that it was going to be very difficult for Croatia, because then they had to open up. And again, Messi, some really good moves, and even at the end of that half, he went into the corner and just pulled off some little things that he does, just protecting the ball, keeping the ball. Then he got fouled and it was half time, and early in the match, I forget what minute it was, he was holding his like bending over and just holding his thigh or like hamstring, and I was thinking to myself, oh dear, I was thinking it's over. I was thinking it's over. I'm just trying to see. It was the 18th minute as well. 18th minute of the match, I think it was, where he was holding his thigh or hamstring, and I thought to myself, that's it. It's done. He ain't gonna be able to have those bursts. But come the second half, when Croatia made the subs, they made some substitutions as our Croatia at half time, and then I was just watching a little bit again today, before the start of the second half. Messi was kind of holding his, like just feeling his legs again. And I was thinking, I didn't see it until today, but I was thinking, maybe I don't know, maybe he does it on purpose to make people think that he's injured a bit. Um, but yeah, so Croatia had to make the substitutions, and obviously when it gets to 2-0, they have to they have to push Croatia, and that's not really them in terms of, like I said before, what they've got up top. So they had to be something that they're not a little bit, and obviously that was gonna hurt them. And for Argentina, there was a few chances on the counter attack, and even later on in the match, I think. Um, let's talk about the goal actually first. So the third goal, um, just reading something here. The game, yeah, like I said, before the third goal, the game was breaking up in a way that there was opportunities for Argentina, and I was thinking to myself, if you're gonna attack Croatia, make it count, like score a goal or get the shot off, or push them back. In terms of, say you counter attack and you get deep in their half, keep the ball, and then make like all the Croatian players come back, rather than say having a counter attack and then your counter attack breaks down before their players are even coming back. So then their players are high up, and then when they've won it back, they get a chance to pass those players that are high up and closer to goal. If you know what I mean. So push them all back if you're not gonna score, and so it almost became like a basketball match. Like there wasn't really a midfield there. So that happened, and then it was the 69th minute. Alvarez scored, and it was incredible from Messi. So he was on the right side of Argentina, and he's picked the ball up from like a throw in, and I'm not sure which player. He's just done a little flick to Messi, and he's taken it past um, Guardiola, and Messi's drived at him, and he's got like towards the edge of the box on the right hand side, and he stopped and then gone at him again, and he's turned him, and then it's a pullback, and the pullback is underrated as well, just to have the awareness to see that Alvarez is there, and then Messi passing it with his weaker foot to give the assist to Alvarez, who finishes it nicely, and then it's 3-0, and then the match is over. Then it's like, what? Then you still obviously got in the back of the mind, all right, there's 20 minutes, possibly like nearly half an hour still with extra time, injury time, but it would have to be a massive collapse. But even then, though, saying that, when it's 3-0, like Croatia don't have to score 3 goals to like worry you. If they had scored one and then got the momentum and scored two, if it's 3-2 and there's 15 minutes left, you don't want to be in that situation. So Guardiola, someone was saying about his mask, maybe does his mask affect him, but I don't know if he can be too ashamed of doing that, because Messi, he's done that all his career to top defender. So it was fantastic from Messi as well to see that 3-0 subs, 33rd minute, De Paul and Alvarez off, Palacios and Dybala on. So after that, the match is really probably just about giving the players a bit of time in the World Cup, and even for the players that haven't played, getting them a little bit sharper. So training, maybe the sharper in training as well. Modric got subbed off in the 80th minute, and he played well as well. I thought Modric, what a player for 87. I used to watch him at Tottenham, and I didn't even rate him that highly. I think I used to think that he gave the ball away a bit, but and then obviously he moved to Real Madrid, and then he got voted one of the worst signings. It was in La Liga history or something like winter signings or summer, I don't know, something like that. And then he just became a fantastic player, absolutely magnificent. The way he moves is like he's 37, but he's moving around like he's 27. So fantastic engine, fantastic technique, and fantastic mentality as well. Um, then we've had a McAllister chance. Yeah, there's a few chances still, but the game's dead after that really. And then it's just to think about conserving your energy for Argentina for the final on Sunday. Um, McAllister had a chance on a quick free kick from Messi. Messi was in behind him. Maybe McAllister could have left it. Right foot volley wide. Um, there was a chance for Croatia, I think, from a corner that was flicked down at the near post, and then it's gone towards the far post. Thinking it was Lovren who just couldn't stretch to get it in time. And so that's it really. Once the third goal goes in, the match is finished. And like I said, Croatia, they are a tough team. So it was a very good victory for Argentina, but it didn't look like that was going to happen in the first 25 minutes or so. So that goal, obviously, big game changer. And now we've got the final to look forward to. Or well, we know one team in the final, so France versus Morocco today. And I was just thinking to myself in terms of if Argentina do play France, that space in the midfield, Fernandez, Paredes, that 4-4-2. Croatia didn't have really a link. Like the midfield is better, and they might possibly the midfield better in terms of team midfield than France. But if France are lacking a bit, where they're gonna have the talent up front to cause danger to Argentina, where Griezmann's gonna play in those little pockets and them holes, like receiving the ball between the defense and the midfield. I think he will cause Argentina massive problems if Argentina don't do something about that. He could cause them all sorts of problems, dragging players in and out, dragging defenders out to him, and then Mbappe floating in sometimes as well. So I can see that being a big problem for Argentina. Possibly they might have to go for a 5-3-2, but we'll see after today who they get in the final anyway. So now let's move on to the second part, and it's just going to be a messy love-a-thon really. So like we'll start with the goal actually. That is the assist, the run for the assist that he made yesterday. And obviously I've been watching Messi for like since he made his debut for Barcelona. And when I say watching him, I mean literally watching like every match, 90 minutes for like 15 plus years, watching every match. And when he was younger, you'd watch him play and he'd give you goosebumps, and you'd think, I've never seen something like that before, and it makes you like jump out your seat, literally like, what the hell's going on here? And you've never seen things like that before, and you've been shocked. And then obviously when he's been doing that for 5, 6, 7 years, you get used to it, and you expect that of him. So when he does something great, you're thinking, well, I expect that from him now. That's his normal, not for any other player, but for him it's not special anymore. That's how good he is. He's so good that he made the extraordinary seem normal. So you'd still see like get goosebumps and watch him, but obviously he's 35 now, and when he went on that run, it just reminded me of when like he was younger, and the same kind of feelings, and you'd think, wow. So fantastic to see him like play. It just for me, there's not. It's hard to describe him because everything, 15 years of watching him, everything's been said. If you haven't been watching him, it's difficult to understand. So he's got 22 goal contributions Messi has for Argentina in 2022, and that's 8 more than any other year that he's played for Argentina. So that's a big difference. That's like a third, 33%. And he's gonna, if he plays on Sunday, he's gonna play his 26th match in a World Cup, and that will break Lothar Matthäus's record of 25, which Messi equaled against Croatia. And just looking like even the way he runs now, like that run for the assist, maybe he can't do beat a man over 30 yards. So that run yesterday was almost split into two runs. So it gets that the first run from one place to a certain place, then the second run starts. So rather than beating the player in a long run, he beats him in two dribbles. So what else is there about Lionel Messi? It's great to see, like I said, the love for Lionel Messi as well. Even the commentators, and you've seen so many people say this World Cup are like, if they don't, if their country doesn't win it, the country that they're from, they want Messi to win it, or even like just neutral fans saying they'd love to see Messi win it. So it's brilliant to see, and just stuff like that yesterday just makes people, fall in love with him even more, realize how really special he is. So there's so many great videos on social media yesterday night in Argentina. There was a fantastic one from a female reporter that was telling Messi how much he means to the fans and everything, and that's something Messi's always wanted, the adulation from the Argentinian fans, because obviously he didn't play in Argentina professionally as an adult. So there was always that thing that Messi's more Catalonian than Argentinian, but hopefully the fans have realized how much he cares for Argentina now as well. And I thought that was a really great video from that lady. I think she was an Argentinian reporter, just saying that whether they win the final or not, everything that he's given to the fans, the joy, really good. And like I said, there's so many videos like that on social media. It's just fantastic to see. Um, Something about Messi in terms of like fighting ghosts as well. Like for me, there's a Jay-Z song called Grammy Freestyle where he says, "How I'm supposed to win when they got me fighting ghosts." So that's alluding to him being compared to Tupac and Biggie. And I think Messi's had the same thing all throughout his career, being compared to Maradona. And how do you become better than Maradona? It's always like, even if he wins the World Cup, there'll be some people who will be like, yeah, but Maradona done this with Napoli and that as well. So there's always, you can never win. Even when you do win, there's always going to be people who have got something to say. So that was something that's always stuck with me about fighting ghosts. And just a couple more things about the other players as well, the other Argentinian players. And for me, the creativity is a bit of a problem with Argentina as well. But all the players, they know their role, they know their responsibilities, and they love Messi. And how many of them always come out and say, we want to win the World Cup for Messi. So the humility of the players, the desire, the understanding of the roles and responsibilities, and understanding that, listen, we might have to run for Messi now. He's 35 years old. When he was 24, he could run. Can't now as much. But even I think when Messi was younger and he was trying to do everything, whereas now he's not dropping like deep all the time, picking the ball up, trying to beat 2 3 men, trying to do 1 2 with somebody and trying to finish it as well. So that was the problem I always had before, in terms of he's trying to do too much. And maybe some of the players were in awe of him as well, like, oh, we've always got to look for Messi. But now it seems like the players, that they're on a certain level with him where they've got that respect for him as well, and understanding and relationship with him as well. And like I said, maybe Messi's different now as well, especially since he's moved to PSG. He's become a different person. professionally and probably privately as well. So yeah, these debates as well that we're having, like I've seen a lot of people say, oh, now we understand the debate now, that yeah, Messi is the best, this that, and the other. For me, there's never been a debate. Fantastic to hear something from former footballer called Damien Duff. I think a Republic of Ireland international, used to play for Blackburn and Chelsea as well. And he said something about Lionel Messi, comparing him with Mbappe, saying that at his peak, or when he's like Messi was 23, 24, that Mbappe is not close to him at all. And I fully have to agree, because at that age, Messi was Messi with acceleration was something out of this world, out of this world. So all these debates about who's the best, there's never been a debate. If you've watched Messi regularly, and I know a lot of people, and I'm gonna go on a, well, some may say I've been ranting the whole podcast, but I'm gonna maybe go on a little rant now as well, and we'll do some podcasts on these separate ones. But a lot of people that talk about Messi are, he's only done it in one league, this, that, and the other. But if you don't watch the matches, how can you have an opinion? You know, how many people, when they used to say Messi hasn't done it for Argentina, how many people used to sit up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in the UK watching Argentina play, and then actually able to form an opinion? Or did they just used to wake up and see on the news that Argentina drew, and thought, okay, we'll jump to conclusions that Messi hasn't played well? So it's hard to respect people who haven't got their own opinion. Whether you agree with that opinion or not isn't the most important thing, but you can't debate somebody who hasn't even got their own opinion. It's difficult. And same thing for Barca and La Liga and Messi. If you don't watch them regularly, how can you judge him? Like, it's difficult.